Star Wars geek girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.
Click.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Geek Girl. I am one of your hosts, Lizzie Prowlis, and I am here with the amazing Zoe Hinton. Hello, Zoe.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about Boba, but I won't say anything yet, actually. But we are going to talk about Boba, and there's quite a few things coming up. Few Star Wars game announcements that I didn't really see, but that's okay. We will
Yeah, it
talk
was just
about
like one. Well, I assume they're all very far off games because they didn't even have like names or any details about them. All we know is they're by Respawn with EA, which is Respawn did Jedi Fallen Order. So they said the next installment in the Star Wars Jedi series, so a Fallen Order sequel. They said a first-person shooter and a strategy game, but that's like literally all we know.
Sounds cool. I still need I think I bought Fallen Order because there was like a sale and it was like, it used to be $40. Now it's $5. I was like, oh, all right, sure. I think it was on like the PS4 Plus or something. I don't remember. It was something like that, but I bought it. So hopefully there aren't any bugs like the first time I played and it'll be okay. And I won't cry when I fall through the floor during a cutscene. But yeah, that sounds cool. I like first person shooter games. Those are always nice.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. But first person pew pew. I'm not good at strategies, so that might be a game for probably you or maybe my dad. I think my dad's okay at strategy. I don't know. My dad and I are good at puzzles.
What kind of strategy game it is?
Yeah.
Because there are some strategy games where I'm like, that's too much. But there are other games like I like playing. It's a board game, not a video game, but I like playing Catan. I always like playing Civilization as a kid. So just depends on what kind of strategy game it is, I guess.
Fair. My dad and I like puzzle games, mostly from puzzle video games, like Legend of Zelda. Maybe only specifically Legend of Zelda, but that's okay. I think I'm a lot better at puzzle games, just in general lately. You know, because like I like recently I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go back and play this game, and then I do it. I'm like, wow, that was a lot easier than when I played it when I was like 10. What was it recently? I played Resident Evil like 2 and 3, and those were pretty easy too. And I was playing it with a friend and he was like, wait, those took me forever. Those puzzles took me forever to do. I was like, I mean, I was just kind of just mess around, just poke a few buttons and then you're done. So maybe I'm not good at puzzles. I'm just good at choosing random buttons, but it's okay. But yeah, those sound cool. I will try to beat Fallen Order so that I can get into the Fallen Order sequel if I like it. But we also have Book of Boba Fett. We had an episode come out yesterday.
Spoilers ahead. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and then come back.
Yes. Well, do you have any spoiler-free things before?
I really, really like the episode. That's about all I can say.
You know, I was not. I've liked all the episodes so far, but I was like, why do I especially like this one? And is this considered a spoiler if I say the director?
No, not the director.
Okay. Well, it was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, and I think she's really cool. And I like when she writes things and directs things. Would you say what's the difference, Dean? You're in film school. What's the difference between a director and a writer? Like, there's an obvious like difference, but is there any like small differences that they do?
Sorry, I just zoned out. Can you restate the question?
Just like, is there like a big difference than like a director and a writer?
Well, so the writer writes what happens.
Yes.
The director, and it varies on production because some directors do get involved with writing. I'm not sure how Boba Fett, how Lucasfilm does it with the TV shows. But the director will have a lot more influence over, like I don't know how involved Bryce Dallas Howard was writing wise on any of her episodes. Based off of the Mandalorian season 1 background thing, it sounded like the directors did have a good amount of input. But yeah, it's her influence is gonna be more on the performances of the actors. Essentially, like it's hard because like writer directors are a very, very common thing. Like J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson were credited as writers on their movies. Can't remember if she's here. Let me Google it. If she's credited as a writer, because she's credited as a writer, then obviously she had influence over the writing. But if she just directed and didn't have anything to do with writing, then obviously she still gets credit for how amazing the episode is, but it's different.
Does it work better if like the director is both like the director and the writer? Because it would just be more what they would want.
It depends on, I think, the production and on the people, on the writers and on the directors. Because I would say the advantages of writing and directing is that it is a one person's more unified vision, where the benefits of a separate director that didn't write was that they bring a new perspective to it and are able to put their own spin and add the new concepts to it. It's really up to whether you subscribe to like auteur theory and like if what you think is better. I think it depends on the story. I think there are some stories where having the writer direct makes sense. I also think getting a fresh set of eyes on a script and someone interpreting it their way can be really good for some productions. No, that was a much longer answer than you probably wanted.
No, that's good. I mean, again, I don't know anything. If you ask me like how to cook something, I know how to do that. If you ask me to try to make a recipe with like the black melon thing and boba, maybe, but I can't tell you anything.
Looking on IMDb, she is not credited as a writer. The writers are Jon Favreau and Noah Clure, and George Lucas is credited because he gets base writer credits on everything because he created Star Wars.
Fair.
But she is not credited as a writer.
I forgot. So I actually I had a friend who never watched Rise of Skywalker. Like he's watched everything else. It's all caught up, I think, except for Bad Batch or something. I'm trying to get him there. But he hasn't watched Rise of Skywalker. And every now and then I'm like, yeah, that's okay. You don't need to. It's all right. But I kept making a bunch of references and jokes about it, and I was like, you don't know any of this. So I sat down with him and I was like, oh, we're gonna watch this. And I don't know if it's now or maybe it always was, but did you ever think that like the conversations, like the actors and just like the characters had were a little awkward
in Rise of Skywalker? I'm not particularly. I can't think of any that stand out, but I haven't seen the movie in a hot minute.
Okay, because I don't know what it was, but I like everything felt super awkward with like Rey, Poe, Finn, and like Rose and those characters than it did with like Carrie Fisher and stuff like that. I don't know. It was interesting.
It was probably awkward with Carrie Fisher because she wasn't there.
It was actually less awkward. I don't know. I think it was just the actors in general. Like it felt like the conversations didn't flow as much as they did when I was watching like Boba and like Mandalorian stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I am not a director or a writer or any film or anything. But yeah, yes, but Bryce Dallas Howard directed this, and I thought it was super cool because I like Bryce Dallas Howard. She was cool.
The best episodes of Boba Fett so far. My favorite two were this one and episode 2. They're both the ones directed by women. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Get more women on Star Wars. Even The Mandalorian, like Deborah Chow and Bryce Dallas Howard, do the best episodes.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying.
I watched. What did I watch the other day? I was really bored, so sometimes I'll just go on my iPad and I'll just go on Disney Plus, and I'm like, I wonder what I can watch. And then I found Mulan 2, and I was like, oh, I can listen to Fennec Shan.
I love Mulan 2.
It's really okay. You've watched it then?
When I was a kid, I used to watch Mulan and Mulan 2 on repeat all the time.
Yes. I put it on while I had friends over, and they were like, what is this? And I was like, it's Mulan 2. They're like, I've never watched this before. I watched the first one. And I was like, you didn't know there was a second one?
So good.
It's really good. For those who haven't watched it, you can watch it on Disney Plus now, and it's great. If you're like missing Fennec and you're sad there's no new episodes, you can watch that. But yeah, it was very good. Sorry, Boba. Well, that's the other thing.
All right, spoilers ahead.
Spoilers. There was no Boba.
No, this was because I texted Joan after I watched it. I was like, do you see the new episode of The Mandalorian? She was like, yeah, I did. This was The Mandalorian season 3 premiere.
Yeah.
This was not the Book of Boba Fett. And I loved it.
Really
this was an amazing piece of Star Wars. It was amazing. It was exactly what I wanted after The Mandalorian season 2 finale. But it was not Book of Boba Fett. At the end, it goes, starring Tamura Morrison. And I was like, was it though? Was it starring Tamura Morrison?
They're lying to themselves.
I don't think he was there. Like Boba Fett, where? Yeah, it was a really good episode. Don't get me wrong, loved it. Not Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, which is even funnier because I had another friend who's been keeping up with Boba, and I was like, "Hey, how are you liking Boba so far?" And he was like, "I love it, but like I want the Mandalorian." And I was like, "Oh, well, did you see?" Because it was the other episode that just came out, and I was like, "Did you see the other episode? Like they had his like his thingy, his like sound." It's fun to be on a podcast with my dad, and it's just talking about Mandalorian because then he just goes a woo woo a woo woo. So I was like, yeah, didn't you hear the a woo woo? And he was like, yeah, but like Lizzy, you have to know when is the like next like Mandalorian like show? And I was like, I don't know. How would I know? He's like, but you're the Star Wars person. I was like, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think he might be coming on to Boba because like we heard the woo woo and stuff. And he was like, yeah, but like I want an actual like Mandalorian another one. And I was like, okay, look, if Lucasfilm is gonna if Lucasfilm is gonna do the thing where they like, or just shows in general where they have this show that's like supposed to be like about Boba, but they have a cooler character everyone else likes, they're gonna focus on that. So we're probably gonna get episodes of Mando and what he's doing and how he comes back to Boba. my friend was like, no, there's no way. It's just gonna keep being about Boba and Mando's just gonna show up. And I was like, I don't think so. I think they're gonna have an episode of Mando. Because of the ooh woo woo. And yeah, then then this episode happened. I'm not mad at it at all. I just think it's really funny.
It's good. It makes me, we'll see how the rest of the series goes, but like we have 7 episodes for Book of Boba Fett, and you have one with no Boba Fett. We'll see if they can wrap it up in a way that I don't mind it. The only thing, this is amazing. It's not your show though, man.
Again, like it was great. It's an amazing episode. I love Mandalorian. I love getting to hopefully see something with Grogu. But also, like, this is a show for Boba.
I think it's so funny because when we were, especially in season 2 of The Mandalorian, everyone's like, wow, like Din Djarin just does not want to be the main character. Like everyone keeps trying to pull him into main character business and he just doesn't want to. And like now it's like not even his show and he's the main character. It's so funny. Yeah, no Boba in the Boba show. Like not even a
we
little
saw
bit.
him. Yeah, we saw him in like the recap.
Yeah,
and that was
the
it.
recap, but he was not anywhere else. It was just very funny. But I like getting to see Pelly again. There was a BD droid, made me so happy.
There was a BD droid.
I did like
horrified me, like the Womp Rat, because she like goes down, and like at first I thought she was like joking, because that's like a big like horror thing, like people joke about. They're like, help me, and then like like they're getting pranked or something. No, that thing was like actually attacking her. It was horrifying. But then Mando should okay.
I liked the part. I like knowing the armor is good and what's his face, Paz Vizsla. Like he's alive. I was like, what? You're alive?
I mean, he could have not been alive, but it's okay.
Well, he is. But it's just them left, and they have the really cool stuff. We got to know a little bit more about the Night of 1,000 Tears, and they apparently just basically carpet bombed Mandalore.
Yeah.
But
there was no like they did some like it was just they bombed it.
It destroyed it. I did notice though that they said the armor said that their clan was safe because they were on Concordia. They were on Concordia. So sounds to me like they just bombed main planet Mandalore, and Crownist and the Wrens are just chilling.
Yep.
So that makes me happy. They could be okay.
I was very frustrated with because like again we like hear from Bo-Katan and she's like, oh, you guys are just cults. Like I don't she like and then there's just a lot. I don't like anyone from the ancestry of Vizsla. I think they're jerks. They're jerky. But because it was just very obvious because Mando comes up and he's like, hey, I'm back. Also, like, I got this huge cut. Someone he was trying to fight someone with a dark saber that he doesn't know how to use. He knows how to use a spear. That is way different from like having a sword, and not even just a sword. It's a sword that if you touch it, you like your hand disintegrates. Like it will turn into whatever his leg was. I do like I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I do enjoy the more culinary representation I'm getting from this show. It's nice to see. Because that's exactly what the meat room looks like in the Culinary Institute of America. It's a little horrifying. And then we have a chef named Chef Schneller. And he's very nice, a little crazy. He's very nice, but he's a little crazy, and that's because there's no one down there but him. And it's like 40 degrees at all times. So he has a right. But it's still horrifying, and that's what it looks like. But yeah, he's doing some bounty hunting, and then he's trying to fight people with the saber. Also doesn't know how to use a saber, and then gets angry and then kills people with the saber. That was a bit gruesome.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where he is after the season 2 finale, because he really lost just about everything in that finale. And so he's not in a great place.
No.
And then he reunites with his covert, and like they have the fight, and it's like, oh, Din, guess you get to keep the dark saber because you won it. I really still want to know like exactly what happened with on the bridge of the ship. Like, did they just have the most awkward ride back ever with everyone, or like what happened there? I'm still curious about that. I don't know if we'll see it at this point, but so yeah, it's nice to see where Din is. He had the spear was melted down into something for Grogu, and I really want to see what it is. It looks so cute.
I like that when she ties it, he looks at it and it's just like the head with the ears.
Yeah, well, and it looked like we didn't get to see like exactly what it was, but to me it looked like they were almost making like a chainmail. Like it sounded.
I thought it was like a
links.
bracelet, but like that's not really armor.
I was thinking it would be a little like Beskar chainmail shirt for the baby.
Yes, very cute.
Whatever it is, it's very small. Yeah, Din, he like wins the fight with Paz to keep the darksaber, which he's struggling with because it gets heavier because he doesn't really want it. He's kind of resisting it. But and then the armor, I was like, yay, Din's with his clan again. Yay. And then the armor's like, Paz Vizsla, have you taken off your helmet? And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. I was like, oh no. I was hoping he would lie, but I knew
thought he was
wouldn't lie.
I was like, because they were just staring at each other for a little bit. And I was like,
that's like
he was
that's like me staring at my elementary school teacher and they're like, did you do your homework? And I'm like,
I commend his honesty. I would have lied. Just, to be honest. But he doesn't have anything else. Yeah, well then he said, like, how can I atone? And she was like, you have to go into something below the mines, blah blah blah. And he was like, but they're destroyed. And she was like, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't like this cult. It's not very nice. They kind of just like denounced him.
We're like, oh, Bo-Katan, was being too mean when she called them a cult, but I don't know.
I don't think so, bro.
This seems pretty culty, and not that Bo-Katan's perfect, but I'm gonna be Team Bo on this one, especially because the armor. And I know this is their like beliefs, but she's like, yeah, it's Bo-Katan's fault because she didn't win it in combat. It's like, I think it's actually the Empire's fault.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because like Sabine gives it to her, and now all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, it's because she didn't win it. Like,
I think it was the bombs.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think it's like the multiple like bombs and arson committed on like this
and the K droid. I am curious because we're just looking at it for that. It doesn't look like it was necessarily just like a raid of like the Mandalore cities, like the Siege of Mandalore kind of was. It was like they just straight up destroyed it. So I am wondering what fight, like how exactly Moff Gideon got the darksaber. Because I assumed it was like he led troops into Mandalore and like she fought him and it was like a whole thing, but they just bombed it. So I'm curious as to how that went down. Specifically.
Yeah.
And then Din goes to customs. Stopped by the TSA.
I'm surprised they still let him take his weapons. Like,
I mean, if he doesn't have access to them, they They put them in the box and then hide them.
I guess so.
You know.
I remember
I thought
when
that was
we, my family and I were going to Florida for celebration, and we had to be like, look, these aren't real. I promise. You could even like take them in the back and like look at them. They're not real because all of our little blasters and lightsabers.
yeah. I thought it was funny. I think Boba Fett is really giving representation to the regular downtrodden people. First, it was that secretary for the mayor who just wanted to check for an appointment. Now the TSA droid. These regular people, just androids, trying to just do their jobs.
Yeah,
So
they
funny.
don't need any drama in their life. They're just trying to do their jobs.
It's really funny. And there's a cute little Rhodian kid.
Yeah,
The ship.
small.
Yeah, we got to see Pally again. She has a BD droid. It's so cute. When it did its limping thing, it was like the exact way that BD1 limps when you find him in Jedi Fallen Order. So I wonder if when they did the CGI, if they just were able to like just take the model from Jedi Fallen Order and like the animation loops and just basically repurpose them for movie CGI.
Maybe.
I
I don't know how that works. I am not a film student.
I'm taking intro to 3D animation this semester. It's cool and hard.
Sounds difficult.
It's exciting though. And I'm taking video game theory and writing, which is cool.
Mm.
I was gonna say, yeah, we see Pally and she has a ship for him, and it's a Naboo starfighter. The like
It's a little
yellow
beat
one
up.
that like Anakin flies in Phantom Menace. And they fix it up. His is silver. He's keeping his color scheme. And they fix it up, and then he gets pulled over. First, he gets stopped by the TSA. Then he gets pulled over by the cops for speeding. In space, which is funny. And it's the same. I forget his name, but it's one of them was the same one, New Republic pilot from
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
2. He's like, your voice sounds familiar, like, and then Mando just takes off, and it's really funny. And they're like, I don't want to chase him, that's paperwork. It's just a mood.
Which is true.
That's I can't say what I'm gonna say. Recorded. But yeah,
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you. I read you. But yeah, I mean, they made a lot of like, because like in like air quotes like real life movies where it's like about police and they're like, well, we don't want to like do this, it's too much paperwork. Like they kind of, it's funny to see that, but Star Wars and in space.
Yeah, this episode was like, it was really serious with like the Mandalorian stuff, and then after that was just kind of a comedy goldmine, and I loved it.
Yes. And I like that guy too. He's pretty cool. I was hoping for Trapper Wolf, but he's good too.
I was like, oh, Trapper Wolf, and it was not. It was another guy that was with him.
Yeah.
No Trapper Wolf, sadly.
No.
Then so we get to Starfighter, and they changed the astromech port into a little bubble place for a baby to sit, and it gives me so much hope that we'll get Grogu back. Because after the season 2 finale, I was like, what if Grogu's gone forever?
He just puts like a little doll there that looks like him.
He goes to Target and gets the Hasbro Grogu.
He like tapes it there so it stays still.
Maybe he'll just like keep stealing children and be like trying to fill a void.
Like Boba.
Yeah.
Trying to make a family.
Yeah, basically does his test run with the starfighter, and he flies through like where the pod races are and everything. It's really cool. And then at the end, Pelly's like, "Hey, this lady Fennec Shan stopped by. She said she wanted to talk to you, but don't worry, I put up security measures." And then Fennec's sitting there. She's like, "Hey, can you work for us?"
And Mando's like, I'll do it for free.
Yeah,
You help me and my little baby boy.
and it's very nice. And then I was like, "Oh, are we gonna see Boba in this Boba Fett episode?"
No.
And then credits.
I did like that when he was with his covert, he was talking about, like, she was talking about how like Jedi are like no connections, blah 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 blah, and how the Mandalorians are all about connections, and like I think that's really cool. Except, you know, both parties got also genocided, so I don't know what they're doing. Both of them are constantly getting killed.
It's rough out there in the galaxy.
I guess so.
I'm trying to think. I was gonna say like you just gotta be, but I can't think of anyone that like doesn't get killed. So
somehow the Martez sisters are still alive.
I mean like a bigger like group of people that you like a species or a culture.
The witches are all dead.
The people on Naboo, I mean, there was that first invasion in Phantom Menace, and that sucked. But like, there's also the battle in Battlefront 2. But like, besides those two things, like compared to everyone else, they're doing all right. Like in the Empire, they didn't have it as bad because it was Palpatine's homeworld, so he like didn't let stuff get like blown up all the time. And we don't really see them or hear about them in the sequel trilogy. I assume they're okay. So it's just gotta live on Naboo, except for 2 times. Take vacations during those 2 battles.
Yes.
But
just like just sense when a battle's gonna come and then like leave before
or like you don't like just stay out of Theed, like live with the Gungans. Dad said he was okay.
I'm trying to think.
They didn't get attacked. They left to like fight droids, and then a bunch of them got killed. But like they won the battle, and like if you just stayed in Otoh Gunga, like you'll be all right.
And also don't be parents.
Gungan. That's my advice.
Yes, be a Gungan, don't be a parent, and if you hear the name Skywalker, go the other way.
Yeah. Or just if you hear Jedi or like Sith, Mandalorian, anything, just keep your head down in the galaxy. Just don't.
Exactly.
That's how you survive.
Yeah. Again, don't be a parent.
Oh wait, and that one
never happens.
Book, there were like all those orphan childrens.
From like Gungan ones?
Theed, but they were in Theed. So stay on Otoh Gunga. But also don't have a force sensitive child, or else Cad Bane might steal him.
Yes, that too.
Besides that, you'll be great.
I can't think of anyone.
We already said don't be a parent, I guess. That covers.
Yes, don't be a parent. Just in general. Don't do that. Mom and Dad, you already messed up in Star Wars.
What you really gotta do is be a minor character that shows up in the background of a movie but doesn't have anything go wrong. And then up to that point, you have plot immunity.
And you have enough like weird like fans that are like, I really like that character. And then
you don't want to have too many where you get the relevant role later and then die.
Yes. Like OP Pit. You want to be almost like OP Pit. Like you want to get like ruffled and tumbled by the Empire a little bit, but like you're okay at the end.
Yeah. You don't want to become a main character. but you don't want to be an extra that gets shot for sadness.
Yes.
You gotta find the middle ground.
Yeah. That's there you go. Just that's how you survive. That this is Star Wars Geek Girl, and this is how you survive a Star Wars.
Exactly. Trying to think. I love the episode. It was great to see Mando again and catch up with him. Learn a little bit more about the Night of a Thousand Tears, which has been mentioned since season 1 of The Mandalorian. And at least get some more details on that, even if they're vague. Love seeing Pelly again. It's my girl.
Mhm.
BD1, not BD1. There's a BD droid.
It's a BD droid.
And they're so cute.
He like has his little feet. Like he moves his little feet when he's happy.
Yeah. And Mando has his, what's it called? His N1 starfighter. He can't, like if he captures a bounty, he can't take them with him. But
Yeah, unless he takes like the head.
Yeah. So he can just do head. He can't do live bounties anymore. He can't be like, I can bring you in warm, I can bring you in cold. You're just going
I will bring you in cold.
You're just going in cold at this point.
Which is even more threatening.
Yeah. I was trying to think of like a joke. Like, I just have to.
Sometimes it just has to naturally come out.
Yeah. Well, it's like, they're like, I'm here to do this or do this, and I'm all out of this. I feel like you could do a joke with that. I just got to figure out how to word it. Think about it.
You should ask Axel.
I will. Trying to think. Other Mando things.
I thought like the whole area that he was in, I don't remember, but like the first like location that it's like
the big ring.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool. It reminded me of like Treasure Planet because they have like the moon, but it's like a whole city on it, and like it's all curved, and it just looks really really cool. But I was concerned because I was like, if you fall down there, you're just screwed. Like that's it. Like there's nothing to protect you unless you have like a jetpack.
Not an OSHA safe.
No.
Place. Yeah, it was really cool. So I thought in the Choose Your Destiny and Obi-Wan and Anakin adventure book, there was a space station called the Wheel, and it was this big round space station, looks like a wheel. And I was like, I wonder if that's what this is. And I looked up the picture, the art from that book of the wheel, and it's different. But I was like, for a second, I was like, is this like a really obscure reference that like only I'm gonna get? And
you and like my dad and like 2 other people in the world.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's also in Freemaker Adventures. I forgot about that. I just remember it from the book. Because in the book, there's a machine there that shoots donuts. I mean, it's not supposed to shoot donuts, it dispenses donuts, but Anakin, if I remember correctly, in one of the ways you can go, Anakin uses it to shoot donuts at someone, as one does.
Yeah, my class made donuts. They were really good. I think my favorite is making pretzels with chemicals that should not be touching your skin. I don't understand that. It's like sodium something. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it tasted good. I didn't die.
That's good.
I like only remembered after. Like it should be safe because one of my classmates came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you know where this is in the kitchen?" And I was like, "I don't even know what that is." And I was like, "Why are you asking me? You act like I'm smart." Like, and he was like, "Oh, I went up to chef just now. It's in a room that is locked off away from us students so that way we don't put it in food accidentally." And I was like, "Oh, that's weird." So, and then you had to like soak the pretzels in it, and then but he had to like wear these big yellow gloves in order to do it. That was interesting. Very, very careful things. I don't know why I was bringing it up, but yeah, cool stuff. The ring was cool. There was something else. Just like the lower half is really cool because it just looks like all the cities are upside down. I really liked that. It was really, really cool. Very cool visuals. But yeah, Mando needs to learn how to use saber. And I kept thinking, I was like, oh, I wonder who could, teach him. And then I was like, oh, probably Ahsoka. But hopefully not. Hopefully he can just learn from fighting, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes you need to do that. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I really want to see what the thing is for Grogu. Really, really, really want to. Just, they keep trying to break my heart with all these like mentionings of Grogu, but like I told you, anything like he's just thinking about him constantly. So if Boba were to be like, "Here, would you like some soup?" Mando was being like, "Grogu really likes soup." Like that's just. I hope it happens, like at least once, just once, because he seems like he really loves Grogu, and big father moments. It's very cute. I would like to see more, even though but more so with its own show, rather than Boba, because I'm more interested in Boba right now.
Yeah, I did see this one person was like, "Oh my god, we're gonna get Grogu next episode." Like, I don't think so. Maybe Mando season 3, but I don't.
Where does he think like he is? Like, does he know? Like, did Luke ever be like, "Hey"?
Boba Fett stole him. He's been hiding him this whole time.
Yeah, because he adopts, so it makes sense. He's like, "I remember you. I'm gonna adopt you now. You're my friend now.
You're part of my army of children."
Yes. But because he keeps like saying like, "I'm gonna go see him." Where? What, do you know where he is? Like, is it just that easy? He's just like, okay, I think like Luke gave me the address to the daycare so I can go and pick him up, and then it's fine.
We gave him a PO box to write letters.
I don't know what his plan is and how he maybe just knows where he is. I don't know. Or maybe he has ideas, I guess. But yeah, I have no idea. Confused.
But yeah, we'll see next episode. Presumably there will be more,
I hope we get Boba.
I would like to see Boba in my Boba show, but this is still a really good episode.
Yes. It was good to like just, check in on him and see how he's doing. Very not good, but like now we know.
He's I'm thinking because like Boba is, more chill now, and like Mando's gonna like bisect someone with the dark saber, and Boba's gonna be like, you good, man?
Are you okay? Do you need some inner peace right now? Like,
I got this back to tank. Give you great flashbacks if you want any.
if you want like to just like have some memories of Grogu real quick, you can just hop in there, But yeah, I hope that like Boba trains him and then he gets better at the saber, and then that means he can better protect Boba, or not even protect, he just guards, I guess. Like, how long is, my mom was like talking about in the last episode that I podcasted with my family, about like how long this deal is, like what are like the benefits and stuff like that. Like, was there ever a contract? Like, what's the like official like deal? Or can you just leave? Can you not? Or can you? But stuff like that, you know, like I don't know.
They're great questions. I don't know.
Damn. Okay. Well, yeah. That's all I think I have to say about the Mandalorian show. I thought it was really, really good. Uh, I would like more Boba. Boba is cool.
So
Even Boba with Mando is cool.
we'll get a little trio team up with Fennec and Boba and Mando. And maybe others. We'll see. They'll deal with the Pikes. It'll be fun.
Oh, really quick about, you know, the babysitter. She was talking about how she dated a Jawa before.
Oh my god, yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. I was like, you what? And then she said it again, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, I did. Like, she said it, and I was like, she didn't say that. And then she said it a couple times, and she was like, yeah, they're hairy. And I'm like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
That was a lot to handle emotionally, actually.
Yeah. I feel like I never needed to know that information.
I wish it could be erased from my brain.
Yeah. I mean, she even was like, yeah, I'm a local girl. And I'm like, because that's not all the people she could date. She could date Jawas, she could date Tusken Raiders, but they're kind of not, they're like not, you know, liking people. Fair. She can date droids, question mark. And I don't know, there seems to be a lot of not great people on Tatooine. So get it, girl boss. I don't know. I didn't like this information I was given. But you can have a Jawa Amazon wish list if you let them go through your garbage, which I think is kind of interesting, kind of cool. But they were also talking about how the Jawas can just easily steal from the Pikes. So we got some stuff about the Boba thing, but just because it was mentioning the Pikes, you know, so not entirely the same, but yes. So yeah, that was some information given. Don't date Jawas. They're hairy.
Unless
You like that, yeah. then they're the ones for you. Yeah. I'm not judging. I'm not gonna judge. Yeah. Fun times. Can't wait for more Boba.
Yes, so next week we'll get more Boba. Can't think of anything else. While I'm here, everyone should watch The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime. The first 3 episodes came out yesterday, and they are amazing. And
what is it?
The Legend of Vox Machina. It's if anyone's familiar with the Critical Role, which is Dungeons and Dragons web series, it's an adaptation of the first campaign that they did, and
interesting.
It's so beautiful and so awesome. It's really cool to see Critical Role characters or like D&D characters brought to life. And they're all like all the people in Critical Role are professional voice actors, so they all get to be their characters, and it's amazing.
That's cool.
Everyone should watch it.
Everyone.
Everybody.
Fair. But yeah, I think that was a Star Wars.
That was a Star Wars. We'll do plugs. Star Wars Geek Girl Facebook page is Star Wars Geek Girl. Twitter and Instagram are at SW Geek Girl. They can go to StarWarsGeekGirl.com. There's a poll every month. This month, you're almost out of time to vote for what you're looking forward to most for this year in Star Wars. I do book reviews on Mondays. I think I'm gonna have 2 book reviews out this coming Monday because I'm reading 5 books this week, and short books, not
I was gonna say,
very short books. And then I do quizzes on Wednesdays and blog articles on Fridays.
nice. For the Rogue Rebels, you have theroguerebels.com. Instagram and TikTok is at the Rogue Rebels. Twitch at Rogue Rebels. Podcast anywhere you find a Star Wars Geek Girl. My dad has figured out how to do polls on Spotify. So you can do that. And then Facebook page, The Rogue Rebels, and Twitter at Rogue Rebels Fan. Yay.
Yay. All right. Thank you for listening. Or do you want to do the close up?
You do it.
Okay. Thank you for listening to Star Wars Geek Girl. May the Force be with you. I was Zoe.
I was Lizzie.
May the Force be with you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Star Wars Geek Girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.